Welcome to another episode of One of Us Knows What They're Talking About, and the other one is you. I'm Lorie Burch, your host. Join us as we discuss and unpack wills, trusts, estate planning, and probate law in a way that's actually informative, interesting, and, well, hopefully entertaining. Because if you don't have a will, the state of Texas has one for you. Let's dive in. Okay, so today we're going to talk about things that influence your shopping decisions. And this comes up a lot with estate planning because, I hate to admit it, but there is more than one estate planning law firm out there. And actually, if you do the math, it's actually a good thing, because if you use the statistics that there's 70% plus people that don't have any of this planning, there is no way that one law firm could handle it all. So that's good. That's good. But with all the law firms that are out there, the fact that there's still 70% of people who don't have this planning, I still 20 years in, grappled with this. Like, what is going on? Because everybody fundamentally knows that they're going to check out at some point. And I think all the reasons people give for putting it off is really just excuses, because the real reason is that you just don't see the urgency in it. And I get that. I feel you. But we're going to talk today a little bit about how we make decisions when we finally made the decision that we are going to do this. And so we're going to start with this analogy from this blog that I wrote. And this is a very true story. And one of my besties and colleagues, Jamie Dugan, who is a family law attorney, we were at a conference together. Not sponsored. No, sponsored. Why do we have Jamie as a guest?
We should.
Yeah. Guest.
We need to have Jamie as a guest, and we need to promote that big time, especially with the video, because she's very pretty to look at. Not that she has anything to offer. She doesn't, other than her looks. That's all she's got going for. Who just did that? Was that you, Sarah?
No. Well, I laughed, but
who went? Oh,
me.
You really? Okay.
Wow.
I suppose she has other redeeming qualities. I just haven't noticed them yet. Anyway, we were hanging out at a conference and we went to dinner, and we both discovered we wanted a bottle of wine to share. And we both discovered that we had like the same sort of criteria. And that is, we wanted to seem somewhat sophisticated, but we didn't want like the cheapest wine, because then it's just obvious, right? So we get like the second cheapest wine. And then we don't even look at anything else, like, whatever. Wine is wine. And, we're going to enjoy it no matter what, as long as it's not horrible. So then I went on this trip, on this vacay, right? And like vacation, it's like caution to the wind, no big deal. Like all of it's good. And I decided that I was going to really splurge. And so we talked to the waiter about like different bottles of wine and all of that. And he actually talked me into this. I really like red, dry. I like to chew my wine. And he talked me into one that was a couple $100, right? And so my biggest fear when I ordered it was that, is this going to be noticeably different? Is this actually going to be better? And so he brings the wine, he pours the glass, and I'll be damned, it was so much better. There was just a huge, huge difference in how good that tasted. And so I started thinking about that when it comes to the way a lot of people approach getting their will or trust or estate planning done. And I know a lot of people focus on how much is it going to cost? How much is it going to cost? And maybe if they're like shopping around or talking to other people, they're like, well, I'm gonna pick the second cheapest first because at least I'm not doing like bar. I mean, I don't know what's going into that. But the point is they focus more on the fee than the value. And while I'm not a professional wine connoisseur, which is strange considering how much wine I have and do consume, I do know a thing or two about estate planning and probate. And what I can tell people is that while the cheapest or even second cheapest may be the criteria used for your pocketbook, you really don't have any idea regarding the quality of the planning that you're receiving. And the difference is with wine, you're going to know it when you taste it. But when it comes to your will, your trust, or estate plan, we only find out that your plan is horrible when it's too late. Can't spit it out then. It's done. It's set. So that means that your family or loved ones are the ones that are actually stuck with sorting out this mess and ultimately paying a lot more in the end. So the moral of the story is really when you're making these shopping decisions, that the idea of looking at what is bargain basement or the cheapest thing out there is not really what you should be looking at. We talk a lot about in the firm about like, what is your criteria? And it's interesting that catches so many people off guard to ask them like, okay, you want to get a will or trust on, what's your criteria? What are you looking for? And if they haven't really thought through that, cost is really going to be like this common denominator. But I can tell you, and we've talked about this before on the podcast, which of course, if you're listening, you've listened to this, but we also have a checklist on our website about how to really choose the best law firm for you, because we take this very seriously. And there are firms that charge a lot more than us and provide the same quality of service. And there are firms that charge a lot less than us and they don't provide the same sort of quality of service. And so how do you decide? Well, go reference some of that previous podcasts or look at our online information. But cost should not be your only criteria, unless, of course, you're thinking big picture. And that is, what is the cost to my family and loved ones? What is the cost to my legacy and what people are going to go through? Because when people say, well, I just want to spend the least amount I can, I'm like, cool, I get it. Now or later? Because that's the calculation you've got to make. If you're going to spend as little as you can now, well, just be prepared that that's going to cost a lot more later, either because you didn't cover all your bases, maybe it's not even correct what legal documents you filled out. Maybe you went to a bargain basement law firm that didn't talk to you about how are your bank accounts set up, how are your beneficiaries set up, like thinking big picture. So in the end, it just ends up costing more. So if you're looking to like check a box of adulthood, like, oh, I have a will or I have this or that, I mean, I guess you do you, boo. But if you're really trying to do this because of the impact it's going to have, then you spend a little bit more money, you spend a little more time now, and make sure that you vet a qualified, experienced law firm that works for you so that when, not if, but when something happens, you have everything set up the way it needs to be. So I begrudgingly found this out when it came to red wine, that there is a difference when you spend a little bit more. You get a lot more value back. I wish I didn't learn that lesson. But with wine, it's wine, and you know it immediately. But the point of the moral of the story is that you don't know. And I know that's difficult for people. I mean, our best clients are the ones, unfortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, who have either gone through experience of losing a loved one where things were not done the wrong way, or the flip side, the good stories we have are the people who come to us who have a family member who did go to a law firm, get things set up the right way. And they're like, well, I want that experience for my loved ones when something happens to me. But it really is important, basically, to focus on the value of what you're getting, because there's a lot of things that can cost the same amount of money that aren't worth it at all, that you'd rather spend this money. I think of batteries, actually, and this is something because I have so many children and so many electronic devices that I've tried to go the cheap route with batteries, and I find that I have to replace them all the time.
Yeah.
That when I get like those like lithium batteries, that they're more expensive, they last a lot longer. I'm gonna share something else here, because this is another example, and I don't know why children introduced this to me, but I'm going to talk about phone and iPad chargers. I don't know why they're so good at breaking them and them just not working, because until I had children in my life, like I wish, okay, so for those of you who see the video, this is my current iPhone charger.
God.
It's hanging on by a thread.
Right.
Wait, is that in 2 parts?
The point is, it works. I just recently, so for Adley, her iPad takes that, what is that, the USB-C? Is that the new kind of universal type USB charger? So it takes that, and I just spent probably $7 for a pack of 4. Within a couple weeks, 3 of them are gone. They don't charge anymore. I don't know what's happened, if they got bent or something. So I looked for these like approved Apple ones, not a sponsor, Apple ones. And so I spent like $20-$30 for 2. And those things are lasting, like through the test of time. And that seemed ridiculous to me, but I think we do this a lot. And I know that the rest of the gang here has a lot to share on this and how we make these shopping decisions and looking for value versus cost. And that's important. I think when you're, especially, I mean, iPhone chargers and stuff, that's somewhat more fun to think about. And I know Sarah and Sam have some more fun things to think about. But when you're looking at legal services, boring. What should you really be looking at? And I mean, I'm going to presume, make me crazy here, but you want it to work, right? Because if you go to these online sites and they're usually a couple $100. I'm going to tell you right now, you're wasting money. You're wasting money on doing that, because it's not going to do anything for you. But if you do that same thing with a qualified law firm and spend a couple $1,000s to do it, that's worth it. And I think that's a fundamental thing that people need to wrap their heads around when it comes to value versus cost, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you all, if you spend a couple $100 on a bottle of wine and you're used to $1 chuck, you're going to notice a difference. And it's really hard to go back. It's really, really hard to go back. Thoughts?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I feel like there's a lot of people who try to like purposefully seek out like what is called a duplicate or just something that is
or you're just being duped.
As close seriously, you're trying to find something that is as close as possible to this thing that you want. And like we've seen it so much with like cosmetics or clothing or just really anything. You have all these like websites that are popping up that sell like the same dress that you see here for $500 for like 20, but if you actually ordered it, you don't get anywhere near the quality, the material, or even the item that is promised. And they're making all these great claims about it, but they're just not. And I feel like that's one thing that you really have to sit here and think, okay, well, there's some things that you're willing to spend less for because it'll get the job done. Like, for example, if you're doing like, you just want something quick, easy, instant ramen, it'll get the job done. It'll get the calories. It'll be fine. It's not going to, lots of calories, yeah. It's not going to be like the end of the world if you do that every now and then. But if you get the chance to have proper ramen, if you get the chance to actually have something authentic, you're going to be like, I'm willing to splurge for that.
Oh, good.
But then there's like so many things as far as like estate planning or just any kind of going to a professional to do something that
Yeah.
you're like, no, I can just not. It's like, no, no, no. This is not the ramen type thing. This is not something you can just get the cheaper version and it'll be fine and it's not really going to matter. This is going to matter. This is like your house deck, like in your backyard, your foundation, plumbing, your estate plan. Like, is it going to be crooked? Are the pipes going to like, just, you just did some of that. What's that tape stuff called that you put in between the
Duct tape?
joints of like PVC pipe? No, it's like a specific
Oh.
tape that you use whenever you're working with plumbing. So it's like, I feel there's so many people
Plumbing
who
tape.
is it just plumbing tape?
No, I have no idea.
Okay, well, there's people that
You
are like, let me just DIY this and do it that
Yeah.
way, and then you spring a leak here, and that's like,
Right.
no, guys, that's something that actually matters.
Yeah.
Or for example, like there's so many people that are like, no, I absolutely need like the new Stanley Cup, like the big jugs, the big containers of water that you're like holding with both arms, trying to get into your car and out of your car, or you're willing to like go around like different locations of stores to find like a seasonal item. Sarah, did you just hold up your tumbler?
Yeah.
Your I heart hot dad's tumbler?
Yes.
Not
Because
that
it's
we can see
trusty.
with how blurry your webcam is.
It's not blurry, I
Oh,
promise.
that made it worse.
Oh, it's also
Okay.
holographic, so it's kind of hard to read. But
It's
yes,
okay. You're getting a
Sarah
new
has
webcam.
a tumbler that says I
Hooray.
heart hot dads. So, but it's like people who are willing to go through all of this effort to get this shiny object that is just going to be clutter in a few months, that's going to not work in a few months, but you're willing to pay like obnoxious prices for it, but you're not willing to
Yeah.
do that for things that actually matter.
Ooh.
Like that's just
Got him.
I
Oh,
mean,
it is.
that's kind of the thing. Like, yeah.
It is
Yeah.
called plumber's tape.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm good at guessing. Well, no, actually, Sarah and I know this, but someone, we have this online quiz, which, by the way, listening, shout out, take the online quiz about what type of estate plan you need. And I'm sure Sarah will put that into the comments somewhere.
Yes.
Okay. But
Really
someone
close, yes.
today was actually mentioned that they had reached out to a firm, was having a firm do it, but they haven't had a lot of responsiveness, and that it was a solo practitioner, and this is my favorite part, of a certain age.
Yeah, what does that
And
mean?
I mean, I know what it means, and that means that they had concerns that it's someone who's just managing this on their own. They might be older, so not sure if they're going to be able to follow through, if they'll be there. So, when you're looking at what kind of firm you want to do this, and we're talking about what kind of criteria you're looking at beyond the price, is look at that. What kind of responsiveness are you getting? What are they a solo practitioner? Do they have a full team? I mean, frankly, even though I'm going to live long past anybody, if I drop dead, Burch Law keeps going. We have people in place that can keep doing this. And I do think that's a relevant criteria. It's actually multiple criteria because we're talking about how responsive are they? Do they have a team to help them? And it's interesting because it's kind of a double-edged sword. For, I don't know, 13 years of my practice, it was mostly me and maybe one or two other people. And now currently we're at 10 people. We've fluctuated from 10 staff to 13. My favorite number is 13. And, we kind of try and achieve that. And also we got to keep it under a certain number so that we are not subject to any of, some of the laws. That's just a joke. But, we've kind of varied, but that's a lot bigger, obviously, than 1-2 people. And part of that is to make sure that we have other support. But the double-edged sword is I never could have anticipated when I decided, you know what, let's really grow this thing. Let's be able to help more people at once and hire other people to be part of the Burch Law team. that we'd get every once in a while. People are like, I don't know who I'm talking to. Like, I've got this person and this person and this person. And I'm like, I don't understand that mentality, because the perspective that I have is that, yeah, isn't that great? Isn't that great that we've got so many different people, and the way our systems are set up is that if you call any of us, even Sarah, who never talks to clients, even
That's by
Sarah,
design,
who never ever talks to clients, she could log into our case management, look up that person's name, and be able to know exactly what's going on in their case. And so we're designed to be able to get you the quickest, most efficient, accurate answer and response. And so it's interesting to me, and I don't know if it's because they perceive, we're some big, huge corporation that is, disconnected and everything, but that's not. And I think, again, what you're looking for, value, people ascribe different things to value than others. Like, we had someone who decided not to choose our firm, and he told us that because he talked to a firm where the attorney gave him his personal cell phone and said that he would be available 24/7 to him. And I said, you made an excellent choice, because that's never going to happen with me. Right? So if that's your criteria, then, and everything else is met, and you found a firm that's going to do that for you, then hey, you made the right choice. Because I, not only for myself, but for everybody who wears the Burch Law jacket, they are going to be done when it's done. There you go, Sarah. And they're not going to be held accountable outside of office hours. Period.
It looked like you were sniffing it.
Yeah, I thought you were
It did.
coughing.
Yeah, it looked like you
Trying
were
to
just
hold it
sniffing.
up so you can see
Oh.
the
Yeah,
Burch
but you
Law
kind of did
logo.
nose, so
How does
But
it
yeah.
smell?
how does it smell? Did you wash it?
It smells like laundry detergent.
That's
Okay.
good.
We could have a
Yeah.
whole conversation about laundry detergent. Actually, what do you all use for laundry detergent?
Tide Pods.
Tide Pods. Oh,
Pots?
What is it? Arm & Hammer? It's cheaper. Which,
Oh.
maybe I shouldn't say that because we're talking about
No, I mean,
Is it like the
it's
powder?
something-
but is
The
it?
No,
powder
it's liquid.
scares me. Oh.
It's a liquid.
we
I feel like
use the
Tide Pod
strips.
Hygienics or those
The
or
strips?
the sheets, the dry.
Yeah,
well,
they dissolve.
right.
Oh.
So
You
that
just like
you
throw
are,
them in like Tide Pods? Like they just go in with like your laundry?
Yeah, you just
like
put it in.
ours. I mean, look, don't tempt me with a conversation about washing machines and laundry, because that is my comfort zone. I do all
Did
the
you say your
laundry as
dryer
much as I
sheet?
can.
Zoe?
So
They're
no,
washing
you shouldn't.
sheets.
You shouldn't
Oh.
use dryer sheets.
Don't
So
use
what it
dryer
is,
sheets.
you shouldn't use dryer
Oh,
sheets.
but
You should
detergent
use the
sheets.
balls. The balls. You should use the
Oh.
balls in your dryer. Anyway, not to say I don't
You mean
use
the
dryer
wool
sheets
balls?
sometimes, but that's something I've been taught
Yeah, we
by
use the wool
an
balls.
appliance. Yeah, we've got those.
What's wrong
Still
with
a
dryer
little too
sheets?
staticky for my taste, but still makes it soft. Anyway, so we have a subscription, and Kimberly has to have everything hyperallergenic stuff, because if anything smells good, she's going to have a asthma attack or some shit. It's fine. It's fine. I love her,
Whoa.
and the cost benefit analysis is there. It's good, but the things smelling nice.
Hold on. The cost benefit analysis of your marriage?
Yes, having Kimberly in my life outweighs having things that have color or scent.
Okay, I thought you meant like having Kimberly in your life and all like the. Never mind. It's fine.
Okay.
I'd take
All right.
Kimberly too.
There we go. So anyway, so it's these sheets that are basically what the soap is without the water.
Oh.
So that these big, and I know none of you give a shit about recycling, because at the office we don't have recycling, but I'm the one that puts all the shit into a container. You don't care enough, because I'm the only one that does this at the office, where I take all my recycling, I have a special bin, and I'll put it in a bag and I'll take it to the recycling at home. So, and I'm the one it'll matter the least to, because I'm the oldest in the office, but whatever, I'm preserved. It's a total Gen X thing. We actually care about people. And no, Gen X cares about people and will actually take the responsibility to do something about it. So those two things. Okay. So anyway, so you don't have those big like plastic jugs or the Tide Pods or anything like that. So anyway, it's just a little sheet. You put it in where you put your liquid detergent, and there you go. That's what we use as laundry detergent.
Nice.
I also, one of us knows what they're talking about. The other one is you. If anybody needs any tips on getting stains out, I'm your girl.
One time, I was really proud.
Go ahead.
Oh, one time I got really proud of myself because I got a like 10-year-old Chinese food stain out of my roommate's jacket. It was like a light colored jacket, and she's like, "It's just been there forever." I'm like, "Give me a wash cycle. Let me take this from you." And I got it out, and she was just like, "How?" I'm like, "Do you know how to properly use bleach?"
Yeah. I have I have these pretty high level Maytag washer dryer thing. The only thing I lament about the one that I have, but it was the best one out there, is that the soak cycle, because a lot of your problems can be solved, people, if you just soak it. So 2 things about your stains: try to get water on it as soon as possible, and 2, soak it. But the only thing about the washer that we have is it will only soak in cold water. So what sometimes I have to do is do a hot cycle and just make a timer for myself, like after a few minutes, to go and like lift the lid, and that'll put it into an automatic soak for a while. I also, let's talk about Wi-Fi for appliances, because I still think it's kind of stupid. But Burch Law people, particularly Cynthia, knows I went all in on some appliances this year. Cafe appliances, not a sponsor, but we have these beautiful, ridiculously overpriced. But if you want to sponsor us, and so all of them are like Wi-Fi compliant. And I've talked about this before. We have a brilliant 19-year-old who doesn't know anything about life, and so Kimberly's like, "Hey, can we actually connect these Wi-Fi appliances so we know if like the oven's left on and things like that?" Because some of the things we're dealing with. So I finally did it, because I was like, why do you need to have Wi-Fi in your appliances? I don't think you do, frankly. But it is kind of fun, because now I know, like, if the wash cycle is complete, I can start it again. If the dryer cycle, I can tell you when the oven is preheated. But my favorite part, we were out of town this weekend and we had a house sitter. The refrigerator tells me when the freezer door is open, and it like opened at like 10:30 p.m. And I like came this close to texting her. I'm like, "What are you doing getting into our freezer?" But I didn't do that. But back to a recent episode, Wi-Fi appliances are something that you didn't think you need. And I'm going to say, I still don't think you need.
Yeah, there's fair. One thing that we got from my husband's brother as a gift. It's a string of LED lights, but you can like attach them to the wall in a certain way, and they're really flat, like they're really flush. So they're around my window. This is a new addition. Sam, Sara, because y'all haven't seen them yet. I just tell, hey, Google, turn on window lights. And it does it. Turn them off. It does it. The other day, I found myself on the couch looking up the light bulbs that are the same brand and doing the math to see, okay, how many light bulbs would I need for all the light bulb things in the house? And like, how much would that be? Because I kind of like just being able to turn the light off from like, I don't have to get up. I don't have to reach over for the lamp, especially whenever you have Luke that for some reason in his sleep has got some beef with table lamps. They're on bedside tables. Like he'll move and his pillow will fall and there goes the lamp. So I'm like, I'm really considering like just, where am I right now in my life? That is this my next big thing? And I think it is. I think it's switching all my light bulbs to having Wi-Fi to where I can control them from my phone or with my Google Home.
It is pretty cool because we have a few lights that are connected through our alarm system, so we can turn them on or off. But it gets to a point where it's like you want everything to do that, and then we have Alexa, and you can. I mentioned her name. Alexa, stop. Right, and that not a sponsor. Alexa, will you sponsor the Burch Law podcast?
Podcast.
Okay.
What'd she say?
Just cut that out, Sarah. I don't know what she said. She says all sorts of nonsense. Anyway, you said webcast? I don't think
you did say webcast.
Yeah. So it is getting a little out of control.
What about those? You guys remember those clap-on lights? We should bring those back.
Oh, totally. I never had one, but which is shocking because I mentioned this recently. Like a lesser known fact about me is how much I love as seen on TV stuff. Like I have so many things.
Oh, I'm aware of this.
So it is kind of surprising that I've never done the clap on, clap off, the clapper.
Do you have to say it every time?
No. Probably.
Okay, cool. No,
I mean,
not.
I feel like you do.
See, like the silence of just.
Yeah, but my favorite, okay, and then we're going to end on this and go to the Sam Sara segment about shopping decisions. But my favorite is how, I don't know why, it's just marriage. And so Kimberly has yet to add the Nest app on her phone. So I have it on my phone to be able to adjust the 2 thermostats we have. And so I will be at the office. Kimberly is at our home, but let's say Poppy fell asleep on her, the baby, right? And she'll text me, "Can you turn the air down?" And she's at the home. But from the office in Dallas to the home that's in Plano, I will pull up the app and I'll like crank that thing down. It's just fun. Marriage is fun. You're almost married, Sarah, so.
Are you to the point yet, Sarah? Or I think this would be you and Emily would be the one you're calling, where you're the one who's home. This happened a few years back, and you get a call from the person who's home, and they're like, "Hey, do we have any mac and cheese?" And you're like, "You mean at home in the cupboard? That's maybe we used to have a much smaller apartment. It's maybe like 10 feet from you." You can't stand up and walk over there, but I feel like you'd be the one to call Emily to ask her if y'all have mac and cheese, and you're just sitting at your island or something.
I think it would actually be the opposite.
Really? Are you trying to convince us you're the responsible one in this relationship?
Yeah, I actually want to throw something out because Cynthia, you deal with a dynamic that Sarah and I do not. Is that there? And I love Luke, but there is just something that is just inherently incompetent about men that women do not have.
Just like you're right there.
Yeah, and that's one of them. I will tell you though, Kimberly will order stuff that we already have, and I'm like, did you not look to see that we already had that?
Oh my gosh!
So if anything, it's like ordering extra stuff.
That happens.
And I will have I still haven't asked her. This is a today thing. And I haven't asked her because I put a 1 pound bag, or it's not even 1 pound, it's like a family size. So I don't know if that's 1 bag or not. It's huge. Of plain M&Ms, peanut M&Ms, and peanut butter M&Ms. For some reason, we got 2 of each. So it's kind of this like Mormon adjacent thing where we've got a stockpile thing. But yeah, I don't know. And yet we digress. So I do want to get though, because we're talking about like shopping decisions, value versus cost and everything. And I believe that Sarah and Sam have some additional thoughts on this. Am I right in that?
Yes, we went serious this time
Yeah.
because you said the last time that they're always kind of not good. So we decided.
Now, wait a minute. did you say you went serious this time?
Well, like serious. Like we didn't do like joke ones. We actually like
Like
Okay,
things we actually.
yeah.
I want to be clear that I don't mind the silliness.
Yeah.
They just need to make sense.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, you just have to do the things, you have to wait until after. After what? You're dead, Sarah.
Yeah.
All right. So
Okay.
talk us through this, you guys.
Okay. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
You can start.
Okay. So this one you don't. Well, maybe I should say. Okay. This first. Okay. So our little section is the things that we think are worth the money of spending a few bucks. But this first one's actually free, so it doesn't really count, but it does. A library card.
This is an example of what I was saying. That your segment doesn't make any sense.
Correct. But this one is an exception. But you should get a library card. There's a fun app that
Libby.
Yeah. Can you let me get it?
Oh, I thought you
Cynthia introduced me called Libby. Where you can connect like your library cards to it, and you see what digital like books or audiobooks they have, and then you can put a hold on them and wait for them to become available and stuff like that. And then you can like read them on your phone or your Kindle or go get a physical book. But if you like reading or audiobooks or nonfiction and stuff, it's a handy tool that you should get, and it helps keep libraries open.
Woo.
That was it.
The Frisco Library is cool. Not that I go there often.
Pardon?
It's just really cool. So something that is expensive and is worth the money, especially if you have pets, is a Roomba. Because I can't tell you how many times I will have to vacuum Kona's hair a week. But if I just let that little Roomba go, he does it for me, and it's great. Saves so much time.
Yeah, last night I call him Mr. Swizzlebottom. He cleaned most of the house. I did have to help him out a few times because we have long-haired cat, and Tag is just shutty machine. I did have to untangle him or get like clumps of fur out, but I learned something last night that there's a remote mode to where I could have it sneak up on the cats. I can just like sit there from the couch and like direct it where I want it to go. And I had it sneak up on Milkshake a few times. That was really funny.
Nice.
Or Milkshake.
She was fine.
The next one is decent kitchenware. And one thing that I know Cynthia is very for is good knives.
Take care of your knives. Mm-hmm. A dull knife is a dangerous knife.
It's true.
Oh, true.
That is a worthwhile investment. Is your knife set?
Yeah. I can't wait for the day.
Pots and pans are the same too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to upgrade my knives one day. It's one thing I'm looking forward to, because right now they just suck and we just put them in the dishwasher. But when the day we get,
my gosh,
because they're crappy knives anyways.
Yeah.
But the day we get a good set of
whenever
knives,
you slice like your hand open, I don't want to hear about it.
Well,
you should register for that for your common law marriage.
Yeah, you should register. I may splurge.
Fourth thing we have is a pet. They're so expensive, but it's just like your little buddy forever.
Yeah,
so
a little friend. Well, not forever.
Well worth it.
No,
Turnip will live forever. Lucas had her
one of my favorite quotes is that you allow friends into your company, you allow pets into your solitude.
Oh, I like that.
I like that.
Next one, an air fryer.
Oh, air fryer.
Yeah. I have an air fryer. I got it for Christmas like a couple of years ago, and it's like the best thing I could have ever gotten in my life. But I can confirm an air fryer is a good. Sarah cannot, as hers started smoking, and now she's too chicken.
Yeah, mine was a hand-me-down for my brother.
Mine has an air broil mode. It's pretty great.
Whoa.
Must be nice.
You can use it if you want to come over.
Okay. Oh, it's my
So
turn.
we have a
It's your turn.
no wait, we have a dual air fryer, but then the cafe appliance oven that we just got is a double oven. And one of them also serves as an instant air fryer.
Nice.
That's cool. Nice.
So again, cafe, if you would like to sponsor, we are willing to test out appliances and do reviews. I am more than willing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%.
Next thing is a mattress. Self-explanatory. You need a good mattress. Otherwise, you just, I don't know. Sam's had the same mattress since before she was born. So
I didn't know. So like my parents,
it crossed the ocean.
No,
with
it did.
you?
Yeah, it was my parents' mattress, and then when they upgraded, I got it, and that was my double bed that I got when I was like a teenager or whatever. And then it's just followed me.
Sam, you're sleeping on your parents' mattress?
I know. I have a memory foam on top of it, which is actually our next one. If you can't afford to get a new mattress, get a little memory foam thing. It snags.
Well, the memories of that mattress.
Oh, I knew I should have brought it up.
Yeah, you shouldn't have.
Well, I didn't. Sarah did. I shouldn't have told her.
You should not
I'm
have told
sorry.
Sarah.
I didn't even think about that.
I did.
Really?
That's why I didn't say anything.
That's why you shouldn't tell Sarah things, because she's like, haha. And we're like, oh no. And then Lori's like, she's after the kill.
So sorry.
Sam,
It's like to work here.
How can you sleep at night?
I have a memory foam thing. It's great. But I don't think about it because it's been mine for longer. So
You know what? It's really cool whenever you get a really good pillow.
Yeah.
I have a pillow that I'm kind of upset at the amount that I spent on it. However, it is worth not having neck pain. It is worth it's great. And I splurged and I got the king size.
I have a purple pillow.
Same. I have the king size.
Oh. Are those? I'm guessing they're good then.
Yes, I love my purple pillow.
Need one of those.
And then there's like different firmness levels. So I think I have the medium.
By the way, they're not the color purple.
Oh, that's kind of disappointing.
There's something on the inside that's a little purple.
There's like a trim that's purple.
But yeah.
What's next?
Get to the next one, Sarah.
A therapist. You know, you don't want to half-ass it. You want to go for a therapist that's gonna, do a good job.
Don't do a BetterHelp therapist. Go to an actual one.
No BetterHelp, not sponsored, but
sponsor us.
It's worth the investment.
I don't know what BetterHelp is. What is that?
It's like a cheap way of getting a therapist, but they're not good therapists.
It's like DIY wills.
Yeah, it's like you can find a good one now and then, but there's more horror stories than there are successes, I guess.
I'll be your therapist because I mean, technically, I am a licensed attorney and counselor at law.
At law, they don't have law things. They have brain things. They have emotions.
What?
What?
Just keep going. Just keep going.
Okay. The next one is taking a Lyft or Uber or your place app of choice, whatever. If you are in a place where you cannot drive, like you're too sleepy or you're inebriated or
too sleepy.
Yeah.
Like if you're someone who has carpolepsy.
Yeah, do not. But yeah, like I know sometimes it can be expensive, especially if you're like downtown and it's like peak hours, but it's well worth it than driving somewhere drunk.
Okay.
So true. So true.
Thank you.
Tires, another good one. Go for the ones that are a little bit more expensive because they last longer. I used to get the cheap ones when I was a teenager and I had my first car and I had to replace those. I don't even remember, like so many times a year I had to replace those, but
yeah.
What were you doing?
Get the good quality ones.
Also, hold on. You grew up in the metropolitan area, didn't you? So you had a lot of driving.
Yeah. So.
And then our last one. Yeah, spend a little bit extra. And then our last one is Spotify Premium. I said this as a joke, and then both me and Sarah went, wait, no, that's actually a really good one. If you use Spotify, because I feel like if you go to Spotify Premium and then go back to the ads, like it's
Not a sponsor.
Like it's worth it.
Not
And you get
sponsored.
audio
Also-
books as well.
You know, that would be a good other segment, like things that you've used that you can't go back now. Because I feel
Mhm.
that way about like 2 monitors.
Yeah.
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 And it's like I
Can't
can't
go
I
back.
can't go back. It's like Plato's allegory of the cave.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that went over exactly as I anticipated.
Sarah, do you know what Plato's allegory of the cave is?
No.
Okay.
Sam?
Sam?
No.
Okay.
I feel
You know,
it sounds
you-
familiar, but I couldn't tell you what it is.
Well, yeah. What's very disappointing about this is I brought it up on multiple occasions.
She
Why it
has.
sounds familiar.
Yeah.
But also, if you've taken any like philosophy 101,
I'm
Play-Doh.
not.
It's really good. I think you should look it up and you'll have a better understanding. But again, there's lots of things. I mean, we can go on and on. I mean, I know something that I'm not going to bond with anybody in this group with, but other people is like car seats and strollers and like all the stuff that you spend this time investigating and looking at. And cheap gets very expensive. The point is to look for value and what you're getting for that. And the best value is not always the cheapest. It's not always the most expensive, but it also is subjective, like what you're really trying to accomplish. And so thank you for joining us today.
I don't know why I clapped.
Thanks for listening. And just to cover all our bases about what you just heard, I'm sorry and you're welcome. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And tell your friends about us. We do webinars and live events. The best way to stay up to date is to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Links are in the show notes. If there's a topic you'd like us to cover, maybe you have a question you'd like us to answer, or maybe you just want to say hi, hit the link in the show notes or go to burch-law.com/podcast and fill out the contact form.
much better.
Yeah, I thought that had a lot of energy.